This is the start of my GX4000 collection series. And as you can see, I've got a few little rarities in there. This is obviously my GX4000. This is a pretty hard thing to get hold of now these days, which is a boxed controller. Pretty rare now these days, but very nice box. I do like the boxes on a lot of the Amstrad GX4000 stuff. Next down the line we have the Trojan light phaser. Quite a rarity again now these days, not too many made, exclusive to Trade-in Post. And inside here are GX4000 magazines. They all start from issue 60, which was the famous Amstrad Action Simply Stunning, and they roll up all the way up to 1994. So that basically has all of the Amstrad GX4000's history, all in Amstrad Action. So quite proud of that. Very easy now to just look up certain stuff and to get some research going. And here are my games themselves. I have 27 games. As you can see, some of these boxes are custom. So this is a beautiful Burning Rubber box. This was by Novabug. Lovely. This actually was never made with an actual box, as it was a packing with the GX4000, but just looks lovely in a collection. Absolutely love it. It's just a shame the boxes are hard, so you tend to have to sacrifice another game. So luckily there's loads of World of Sports out there. But though it's just lovely little cover, lovely little case. Down the line again, we have Skeet Shoot, which again is another custom box. Trojan, as you can see, absolutely beautiful cover by Novabug. Beautiful box, but again, this was never actually made with a case, because this was a pack-in for the Trojan light phaser. And one more custom box I have is the Enforcer, again by Novabug. Beautiful box. Again, this was never actually released with a box, and that was because you bought it off Trade-in Post, and it literally just come with a piece of paper with the instructions on, and just come with the cartridge itself. I also have two World of Sports. You may be wondering why I have two. So this one is the standard European release. These are very, very common. Nothing too special about it. But then I have another one. You may be thinking, why has he got two? And that is because this is an oddity. This is a variant, a rare French variant. And you can see straight away, there are some differences on the case. Apart from the label's red, this one has, I will cover this in another video. It has sports and pictures on the back of a game that isn't World of Sports. But that's a bit of a pain in the ass to get hold of if you like your variants. But again, variants aren't for everyone. The other one I have is Special Criminal Investigation, Chase HQ2. I have the instructions. Unfortunately, I don't have the cartridge. That is a very rare game. I only know of 3 games that are out in the wild. Rumours are that this was to be released and it was cancelled during production by Ocean at the time because of the poor sales of the GX, and only a handful was released or somehow got out in the wild. We don't really know the full story about it, but no, proud of that one. I'll just go quickly through them again. A lot of these games are Ocean games. 9 of them are, because Ocean were just massive supporters of the GX4000. On the rarity guide here, Copter 271 was the last official release, October/November, released in 1991. Dick Tracy, absolute pain in the backside game to get hold of, maybe pops up on eBay. once every 2-3 years if you're lucky. Same for Mystical, very rare game, very odd game as well. I will cover this in another video about oddities, because this game really is an oddity. And I don't actually believe that this was manufactured by Trojan Products, the ones that manufactured all the cartridges for Amstrad, but that's a story for another day. So we go for a couple more. Pang could be a bit hard to get, but certainly not challenging. Panzer Kickboxing, another pain in the ass, like Copter 271 and Mystical. It was exclusively sold in France and retail shops. Plotting, another bugger to get hold of. And Skeet Shoot, I think only around about 250 actual cartridges was made of this. So again, rare. Super Pinball Magic rare. The Enforcer rare. Unfortunately, there's a lot of easy ones to get hold of. World of Sports, Barbarian 2. But if you're going for a set, there are lots of challenging cartridges to get hold of. But that's just my collection as it is. And I'm going to start a mini series just going through the games and all the bits themselves. This is my Amstrad GX4000. And as you can see, really nice box. You've got to remember that parents in 1990 would have been looking to buy their children presents, and they would have been quite impressed when they would have seen this. Amstrad absolutely played on this ship, the ship look of it. I think it's a very pretty looking console. The adverts as well were very much based on this with the ship. And to be honest, even the Plus machines as well, they had really nice boxes. Amstrad must have, they spent £20 million on marketing. They did spend a bit of time on these boxes here. And look on the side, this is all the stuff you get. Very nice. Again, very nice. You could have a black and white monitor as well. Why you'd want black and white monitor for your console or your Plus machine in 1990, I don't quite know. There's the back of the box, not very interesting. And then we just go on this little side here. These two kids, looks like they're having the time of their life here, doesn't it? And then you look on this side, and God, I wish some of these games came out. Obviously, certainly didn't have a cricket game. Very, very close to having a football game with Gaza Soccer. That was the game that wasn't to be, unfortunately. But Burning Rubber there as well. Very nice. But yeah, as you can see, Amstrad had big plans for this console. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite happen for them. I think the thing that ultimately bugs me the most about the Amstrad GX4000 is Wikipedia. You look on there and it says under 15,000 units sold. Absolute gobbledygook, to be honest. Amstrad were very coy about the sales of the Amstrad console at the time, especially after Christmas, and this was purely because Amstrad insisted that a publisher had to pay for a minimum cart duplication of 20,000 units, and the GX4000 at the time did not certainly warrant that many cartridges being made, because they had not sold that many GX4000s at the time. But nope, I do like the box. This was, if I was going to estimate on what sales is, in June or July, New Computer Express said around 25,000 have been sold, and this was before Dixon's and Comet did their big reductions in the consoles when they were just trying to get rid of them. I know a lot of people from July, when they were heavily given a reduction, come in and bought them. So if I had to estimate, I would say around about 40,000 are sold, but still very poor. It just didn't sell very well, unfortunately. It would have sold a couple because of parents walking in, looking at the boxes, but you just couldn't buy the games. So here we go to the actual console itself. Powerful 8-bit console for the time. Hardware sprites. A colour palette of GX4096 colours, which was far superior to actually the 16-bit Sega Mega Drive stroke Genesis as well. So powerful, soft scrolling, DM sound, impressive little beast for the time, but still, unfortunately, on raw power was just not as powerful as 16-bit consoles at the time. So here we go. Look, very nice looking thing. The controller pad comes obviously in here. Very nice. I do enjoy the pads. They're very 8-bit, very NES, Sega Master System like. A little bit stiff though, but good nevertheless. You do get a few issues with these as well, where, as you can see, these bits here very easily break off. So if you kept going on there, that was an issue. An analog port. This was presumably for a flight game of some kind, but unfortunately we were nowhere near getting anything like that for the GX4000. And this, very good. Not many consoles did this. The second port, and actually, if you bought a GX4000, you did have 2 controller pads as well, which was very, very decent at the time. And there was some good 2-player games out for the GX as well. So this little package, that was under £100 at the time. This was definitely a little bit of a bargain up to some of the other stuff. And this is the port, and this was for obviously the Trojan light gun as well. So not bad at all. There are other ports at the back, mostly just ones to go into the monitor. This is cartridge, burning rubber, still sealed, never gone out of this packet. Simply just goes in there, plots in there. And here we have the back. The only thing I would say, guys, is these two here. One of them is the power supply and the other one goes to your monitor. If you get these two mixed up, you can blow up your GX4000. And actually, a lot of people did do this. And the original power supply, if you bought this brand new, and you do see them on eBay every now and again, do not use the original power supply. They are incredibly faulty. But as a package, I think it looks really nice. It looks very futuristic for the time. You had spaceshipy design going on. I really like it, to be honest. For me, it was very appealing. But obviously, unfortunately, a little bit too late for the time, I think. This should have been released a year, 2 years before, and this might have been able to give a bit of a fight, but 16-bit hardware, unfortunately, this was not gonna put up a big fight, especially not with the issues they had with the cartridge production. And this is what you would receive if you would have opened up your Amstrad GX4000 on Christmas Day, say. Very nice booklet. This one is one that I bought, and you can see by the writing, this has come from Spain. But your normal gump, your normal instructions, nothing too special there. Your wires, your 2 control pads. Still, these are, I've not even played with this. This is, have a spare one that I use. Your burning rubber cart goes here. Funnily enough, some people couldn't find this in the box at the time. I don't quite know why. And your power supply, very, very faulty. And as I mentioned previously, please do not use the original power supply. But that is it. A pretty little beast, really, at the end of the day. Unfortunately, too little too late. But no, thank you guys for watching.